Okay, everybody, we got that brazed out, and we got the new one put in. A little burnt. Obviously, we got high temperatures here. We'll polish that all up after we get done. But you see it fit in nicely right there, and then all brand new gears, ready to go. Just to give you an idea how we do this, it's pretty simple. You just lay it. I just lay it flat on my vise here. I have a simple small little brazing tool that I use. It's a little torch. Small is better. No need to have the giant acetylene and oxygen tanks. Just too much power for what we're trying to do here. Those are good for certain other objects or certain other cutting, things like that. But on a braze, it's pretty simple. You just want to kind of heat this up right here, and it'll sweat. And then the old brazing will just sort of drip down down the sides here, and then it'll fall. It'll basically just fall off. Once you get most of the brazing off of it, it's just simple enough to just take a pair of pliers or a punch. I just use a punch. I have a nice little punch set, and I just punch that right out. Popped right out, and here's what the old teeth look like. If you remember, they were in there just a minute ago. See how the sweating occurs there, and that brazing just kind of peels right off. And then the good thing, if you ever get into the situation, is you've got two sides to these. So if you ever have where you only have the original, flip it around and use the other side. That somebody had already done that on this one. It was interesting when I pulled it off. I had noticed that the teeth were chewed up on both sides, so obviously that meant that someone had flipped this one. So you do have that possibility of flipping if you ever want to do that. Another thing you want to make sure that you do when you cut these out. I have another one sitting around. Here's the one that we just did. Okay, here's the gear that we just did. I have another one sitting around. I need you to really make sure you watch this. So the tabs which attach to the spring inside the housing, there's a short tab and then there's a long tab. Your short tab is the tab that is on the bottom. Let's just call it the bottom. And your teeth are going to fit on top the same direction as the long tab. All right, does that make sense? So if you're looking at this, here's your long, there's your short, and make sure that your gears are on the long tab side. Another way to check that as well is when you're looking at this, notice there's some ridges on the bottom. I call it the bottom, that's the short end. And on the top end, there are no ridges. So just make sure that you do that correctly. Otherwise, you'll have this upside down and you won't have your teeth engaging the ring gear all the way. And you'll end up missing, the teeth will end up skipping because your depth of this inside the housing will be in the wrong orientation. And so very critical you understand that. Make sure that you put the small one on the bottom, top one, or the long one on the top, or however you want to put it. The gear side is the long one, and then the flat side is the short one. It's just a matter of hooking the springs on these tabs is what it's really meant to do. So let's keep going.